Weird science
is the revolution.
Predator versus Wolverine, number 4, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Ken Lashley, present day art, Kei Azama on the Muramasa era, and Gavin Guidry on the Westchester era, colors Juan Fernandez, Alex Gutierrez, Matthew Wilson in that order as well, and then letters by VC's Corey Petit, and we,
You're doing well with those names, Jim. I've got to say, I am impressed.
I'm
trying to keep up three artists, 3 different artists on this book.
And it works out good. Me and you, when we did the last issue, I was really like, why are we going back to the feudal Japan deal and the Muramasa stuff? Because that seemed out of nowhere. I had no idea in this that we'd also go to the Westchester era, but it actually works out. It actually works out pretty well. It's not as fun as that second issue. That second issue was the best. That was so fun. You got the feel of the original Predator movie with the whole Team X and the whole team
exactly.
deal.
Yeah.
In this, we're going to show that the Predator keeps coming back, and pretty much that whole fight, what Wolverine has learned, what the Predators learned, they end up even having the idea of them having some respect for each other. But really, the Predator, what he learns is to go after Wolverine where it hurts, to try to get to where he can, something that Wolverine loves, and it ends up being his fellow mutants, the kids.
Yeah, he attacks his friends.
Yeah, at the, the mansion, because that's where you get that. But even when you have it in Japan, Muramasa, it's kind of a weird play, because the Predator's there. This, I think that Ben Percy really wants to show you at this point that the Predator is there only to fight Wolverine. That's it. He comes back to Earth to fight the Wolverine. If things get in the way, he will bail because he just wants Wolverine. Because,
that is the main theme of this book. You're right. This issue, sorry.
Yeah, and it's kind of a funny play where Muramasa, he's like, I'm not getting involved. He's just standing there watching. This is your fight.
Jim, I really enjoyed the Muramasa section in this book, much more than, well, we only got a brief look, didn't we, last issue, but I got really into this. I liked it. It's like Wolverine versus the Predator one-on-one with Muramasa giving, like, advice in the background.
It's like a sensei's just there giving advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like almost like they're sparring. And I like that play where Muramasa keeps saying, and he said it in the little bit last issue, hey, you don't want to pop the claws because that lessens things. And, we're doing sword stuff, so fight without the claws. If you pop the claws, it's not a real worthy victory. Even before Predator comes, I like at the one point, Wolverine's like, screw this. Like, he's had enough. He ends up, he's fighting, he's slashing, he's getting hit. And that's the one play in this, too, is that it keeps going back and forth. And I don't think, in my mind, I ever thought that Wolverine would completely die. It's tough to kill him anyway. But I wondered, how much damage he would take from Predator. And he does take some damage. It starts where you see, though, that Wolverine, he's getting a little better himself, especially with this training. But he pops the claws, and he's about to, go ham on the Predator. And the Predator cloaks and runs away. And it's weird, like the idea of, at first I thought, because Muramasa keeps saying, don't pop the claws, because it's not. I thought that was Predator saying, oh, no, that's not fair. I'm out of here. But it's not. It's the hand attacks. It's weird.
It was pretty cool. It was a cool play, that, because I didn't expect that. I didn't know they were coming, the hand.
I don't know why, but I kind of wanted the Predator to stay and fight with, like, Wolverine,
fight with him against the
Predator,
hand.
and Muramasa. Almost cool. Like these jerks ended up ruining our fun time. Like, we were here fighting. And then you have this crazy team up. And then maybe at the end, when they kill all the hand, the Predator then looks at Wolverine and is like, shakes his head and leaves then. Like the idea of like, okay, I'm out of here. And then maybe Wolverine thinks at that point, maybe that's it. Maybe we're friends now.
That would have been a much better way to go. And I think that makes more sense, doesn't it, than him running away?
Yeah, definitely. And it would be like Predator's like, okay, we were just on the same team. I got to get my head straight. I'm going to have this space. I'll be back.
Maybe show a bit of respect for Wolverine and like, okay, we fought well. You fought well.
This day we're, at this point we're teammates, but that ends now. Like you said, maybe even bow to him and head off. But the other thing that I miss with this Predator that Ben Percy's doing, something that we had in, say, a Predator versus Batman, back in the day.
Wow, that's going back, yeah.
Was when Predator learns sayings and sentences. Like he watches TV and hears like a commercial and he keeps repeating it. That was a big thing in that Batman deal. And I wish you had this, because I actually just, for some reason, by the end of this, wanted Predator to just say Wolverine. Even right before they got, like, almost again, like that respect that he learned.
That would have been cool. Wolverine or like
at
Logan.
One point, he just keeps saying Ska.
That's all he says. He's like, Ska. I thought he was saying, like, oh, screw it. And running away.
Really. That's what I thought. So we then go to Westchester, and it's very quick to get to what we're doing. And it's cool because when you have that laser sight of the three, it's such a cool thing.
It is 3 beads on Charles's head. Yeah.
So when you see it, it's like, Wolverine knows exactly what's going on, and he ends up, where Charles ends up getting tackled, then blown up because missiles just come in.
He saved his life, didn't he? Yeah, he saved Charles's life, big time.
He saved his life. He ruined his wheelchair. But you end up where Colossus comes out, he grabs Xavier, and then you have, the missiles hit the top floor. That's where the kids are. That's showing you that is the weakness that the Predator has figured out, that he is, and he could only get this from he's been watching him. There's no way that he goes from feudal Japan to just show up willy-nilly here out of nowhere in Westchester and just know that Wolverine's weakness is these kids. He hasn't been watching things. So they come in, they're going to fight. But in the meantime, you have cool things. Nightcrawler wants to help. You have Moonstar. Like, all these characters want to get involved. But Wolverine, who is still on fire, by the way, is yelling at them. No, you guys got to stay out of this. This is my fight.
Keep away from me. I like the Nightcrawler scenes here where he's like, you don't have to go this alone. He really is trying to help, and it would have been cool if they teamed up. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it would have been cool. And what I like about it is Ben Percy writes it in a cool way where you don't quite know if Wolverine's saying keep away because this is my fight alone, or keep away because you will die. And I like it. Like, it's a combo, right? And so, because I think that Kurt, and he does, they actually do end up helping. And it's one of those things, again, almost like don't pop the claws that Muramasa said. There's points where, what is honorable in a fight, or what is what you have to do and what you have to rely on. Because as the Predator uses tech and all these things that Wolverine even talks about, Wolverine, once he ends up using his friends, and while they end up, the kids start helping, it does turn the tide. It does help out. And you even have a part where Danny kind of makes herself look like Wolverine so that Wolverine grabs. That's a crazy move.
That was a great play. I missed that, Jim. I didn't realize it had happened. I was like, oh, wow. Okay,
and cool. That is so that is you could die there. Like, if Wolverine says stay away, he just doesn't want Colossus to go and start fight. But this is crazy. To disguise yourself as Wolverine to get captured by the Predator.
This killing machine.
Holy moly. And it ends up, though, it does end up helping. And again, when all the friends and all of the kids come together to try to take down and they are doing a good job. Kitty's in there. She's hitting ankles. She phases up and punches his ankles. He gets the hell out of there. At that point, he's like, screw this. Like, I am leaving. I'm not fighting all these mutants.
Jim, also, I really like the moment where the Predator's got Rogue. He's got her by the hair, and she's like, I can take off my gloves and just touch him. And he's like, no, don't do it. He's worried for her, isn't it? He's afraid for her.
Oh, yeah. And that's where, hey, just capture me. But it's actually Danny. There's some really cool plays.
Yeah, I completely missed that switch. That's so good.
In the Westchester area, you see that Wolverine is helped by the kids, not really relies on, they step it up. They want to help them too, and they all end up making the Predator leave. So then we get to the finale part of it, where in the present day, we've seen that fight in the river. We end up where there's the mention, it gets classic Predator about how Wolverine has figured things out. He has mud on him, so, the infrared stuff won't work. But all this is it's like, to me, the Predator, he's real old now. Right? He's like, I just got to get this done. I don't care if I live. I just want to kill this Wolverine. And that's what he does. They end up going at each other. Predator has a ceremonial dagger. Wolverine pops the claws. Boom, boom, boom. They kind of get tangled into each other. And then beep, boop, beep. There's a countdown and a big explosion. I did like the play, too, where I thought right before Wolverine said it, because in this present day, if you remember last issue in the beginning of this, it's about the helmet. Wolverine put the helmet on his stick. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, Wolverine definitely rigged that helmet. Like, but he says, I didn't rig the helmet because that's kind of, a jerk move, and that's what he relies on. I'm going to go. At one point, the art in the beginning, even where Wolverine's shoulder is just completely ripped off. It's so disgusting. But at the end, the Predator, I guess, not realizing that Wolverine won't die from this, because that's kind of the crazy play, but in his mind, it's a draw. And it seems like it's a right way to play it for the Predator. Like, I can only take this guy down by killing myself. I'm old. I'm tired. I know how the Predator feels. And he just blows everything up. It's like a nuclear explosion. And then Wolverine walks out of it. He says, I don't know how long I was out, but here I am. He picks up the ceremonial dagger and walks away.
I've got to say, Jim, great art in this final section. Really like this art.
Yeah, and again, it's like, yeah, you could say Wolverine won, but you kind of just get like it was a draw.
It was a draw. In a way, he's almost cheating, though, isn't he? Because he's almost indestructible at this point. He was blown up, and it says like it could be how many days later that he emerges from the wreckage.
And there's kind of a weird, like, the narration is a little over the top with Wolverine. Like,
it is.
I miss that guy. It almost feels like he's a jilted lover now. He's the long distance romance is over.
The rest of my life.
He's there staring at that dagger. This is all I have of my buddy the Predator. And he goes off, and you're like, okay. It's not, like, as I was reading this, I started to think to myself, because at DC right now, you end up having that Batman Off-World, and it's Batman learning how to fight aliens in space. It's really cool. In this, I'm like, reading, I'm like, does this really teach Wolverine anything? I'm like, nah, not really. He just ends up fighting the Predator through time. Both of them get better. Both of them learn more about each other. But what does it really mean? I don't know. But if they ever have a sequel to this, I don't think it's set up for that. We need to just have Team X, have Sabretooth, Wolverine, all that, just going after more Predators would be awesome. But
I'd love that, like a 4-part mini, or even an ongoing. Just go on, do it.
It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. But what would you give this?
I thought it was a pretty good conclusion, even though it felt a little bit rushed. I like the art for most of it. I like the teamwork. Yeah, so I'm going to give this 8.5, Jim.
I'm going to go 8. I'm a little less than you, but still, it's pretty good. And I like the series.
It's a good score.
I thought the series was pretty cool.
Overall, yeah, very cool.
Hey, all you weirdos, if you like comic book shows, podcasts, videos, please check the description of this video, where you can see links to all of our podcast shows, websites, all of that. And if you want to help us out for everything that we do, you can click on that Patreon link in the upper left-hand corner and check out our Patreon, where you can go right now and get a 7-day free trial to see all the stuff that we do, shows that are Marvel, DC, indie, manga, and even more. So check all that out, and I'll talk to you all later.
Weird science is the revolution.